So I used to just standing up when I said, and a long time ago I used to always just stand there. Anyway, just a reminder about that LGBT student conference from the 29th to the 31st, and we'll see on the 30th. Really encourage some of you to go. I know I've heard from a few of you. I'm really thankful for that. You can register. I now know there's an copy link for it. So aub.ie/LGBTQ, that's all caps. Again, there is also free food involved. So from 12 to 1, if you want a free lunch, show up and participate in some of the programs. The full schedule is out. We'll send you guys if anyone is interested. There should be some really cool discussions. So just a reminder about that. Also, today you're electing a pro temp. Both candidates I have worked with. I'm not going to make any official endorsements, but I'm just excited to see where that goes. And finally, I know you have to still confirm executive vice presidents because despite the things that have gone on so far and people trying to swear them in too early, no one's official until you vote them in. Don't be a rubber stamp asking questions. So that's what I have to say today.
So next we're doing the roll call. With this, afterwards, by the way, these senators that weren't here will get sworn in after the roll call. First meeting. And I'm going to go through, if I don't say your last name or name right, I mean, I'll see your names on paper in a minute. I don't know, but just let me know if it's not announced here. That's not what you do. So you just say here. Here. Corey Hall. Here. Sam Nunn. Here. Sarah Jane Devine. Me. Here. Hey, Casey. Cassie. Cassie. Becky Hawkins. Caroline Wilson.
Here.
Brett Wagner. Here. Andrew Disney. Here. James Sadie. Here. Catherine Bryant.
Here.
Wells Rutland.
Here.
Annie Osmond.
Here.
Maddie Taylor.
Here.
Katie Gill.
Here.
Shiva Patel. Here. William Ote. Here. Mary Kay Sable.
Here. It's Sable.
Sable. Samantha Strong.
Here.
Will Beatty.
Here.
Landon Kramer.
Here.
Mackenzie Langley.
Here.
Cassandra Gray.
Here.
Ada Ruth Huntley.
Here.
Hope Ward.
Here.
Catherine King. Caleb, did you say Kreitz?
Kreitz.
Kreitz.
Here.
Tevin Wallace. Here. Adam Cooper. And Lauren Campese. All right. Now we're going to move into the official swearing. So if you weren't here to be sworn, please let me know.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly promise
I do solemnly promise
to support the Constitution
to support the Constitution
and the laws of the Student Government Association of Auburn University,
and the laws of the Student Government Association of Auburn University,
and to perform the duties of my office
and to perform the duties of my office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. we have in this body, in our cabinet as well. So go ahead and encourage your friends to apply for that. We have information sessions tomorrow at 7 p.m. and then on Thursday at 12:30. So anyone, we'll have some graphics for y'all to share, but please share those when you see them. And then next, we're going to be working on crafting our executive goals this week. So these are the goals that are really going to guide what our cabinet is working on all year. And so we want to open this up to not just be the 9 individuals that are at the executive table, but for this to really be a holistic view of what the student body wants to see this year, because that is what we're serving ultimately. So I would just encourage you during your office hours this week, ask your constituents what they want to see us advocate for, and where our overarching themes and priorities should be. So I'm looking forward to hearing that feedback. Tell them to go ahead and be submitting Auburn answers, but also collect it and then send it to Carlos and I individually as well. So thank you in advance for all of that, and we'll get y'all graphics as far as AVP and director applications go. Y'all have a good meeting.
Hey y'all, kind of piggybacking off of what Mary Margaret said, cabinet information sessions, it's so important that y'all share this information with your colleges. We are so committed to getting this application out to as many people as possible, and the way we can do that is through y'all. So please, please, please send that out, put it on your personal Instagram when you send you graphics, just really help us out with that. And information sessions tomorrow, Thursday. But Mary Margaret mentioned we really want to include people in our executive goal setting and how that's going to go this year. And so we're encouraging y'all to get feedback from your constituents this week, but also we wanted to go ahead and open up the floor tonight. We're going to start our goal planning meetings this week. So if there's anyone, I have a notepad and I'm just here to listen. Anyone have like something they're dying for us to discuss in our executive goal meeting? I think these nominated officers shared what their vision is a little bit last week, but let's go ahead and ask now. Anyone? Anything? Yes, Sam.
Rideshare on campus, I'm not sure exactly where we are on that, but I think a lot of students are interested in something like that.
I just had a question about the cabinet info sessions. What time are those?
7 p.m. tomorrow and 12:30 on Thursday.
And are they here?
They are here. Yeah, nope, they are not.
Tomorrow night is in Mel.
What?
Tomorrow night is in Mel 35.
Oh, so tomorrow night is in Mel 35, 36.
46.
46. Sorry, they're not here. And Thursday
Thursday is in 2260.
we'll send that out to y'all, so you'll for sure have that. But please, please tell people about that. Anything else you just want to make sure that we're discussing this week?
I think it'd be really great if Shay worked on sharing what the exec was doing throughout the year. I did we shared graphics for events and stuff, but I feel like the student body sometimes doesn't see what you all are doing in between those events and in between the big things that are happening. And maybe some sort of newsletter or monthly graphic would be really cool for the student body to see.
Okay, so I think this is a little bit more of a minor goal, but definitely kind of establishing the role of schools council more in SGA and kind of defining what the lines are between schools council, SGA, and Senate. That's kind of an issue that has with multiple schools councils across campus, so really establishing those.
And to piggyback off of that, Executive Director of Schools Council application is out. So that's a great goal. I think our exec team have talked about that. So we both really want someone who's really dedicated in that role. So please, please push that out as well. All right, anyone else? Yes.
Y'all have graphics for the info sessions?
Jack is going to speak to that. So yes. All right, well, thank y'all. Please continue gathering feedback and sending them our way. And I hope you'll have a great Senate, so thanks.
Real quick, does anybody else that want to utilize open forums? Okay. Yeah, 100.
I got a few real quick things. College business, we've got our finance branch, cabinet applications coming up, so we all push that information out. We're going to have 3 directors of financial projects, an AVP and a Balfour chairperson. They're going to be working a lot with the budget, the line items. So if you know anybody that's interested in like Excel, money, anything like that, you can send my contact info or anything like that. The resolution that was passed in the Senate a couple weeks ago was about financial literacy, and that's one of my platform points. We're actually making a lot of moves on that. We're looking at what the course structure is going to look like, so I just want to like for upper level administration to kind of take hold of that and bring financial literacy to campus in different ways. So they're developing what the course looks like with different modules, what in-class looks like, what online class looks like, really just researching a lot and utilizing all of our resources that we have right now. And then last, y'all talk about committees tonight, and I really encourage y'all to sign up for budget and finance. That kind of oversees the allocation of the student activity fee. And it's a really cool opportunity to give different organizations funding across campus with our 6 different SAPs. So I encourage y'all to sign up for that, and you'll get to work with me a little bit. And I think I'm fun to work with. So if y'all have any questions about that, ask Carlos and me. I'd love to answer. Thanks, guys.
Hey y'all, I have a brief announcement. So I'm going to go ahead and give y'all some dates to be aware of. So Creed Week will be April 8th through 12th. And then we also have Green Night, that is April 25th at 656 in front of Langdon Hall. And then Green Ceremony, which is April 28th at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So these two are events that are held by the previous cabinet. So we stand finish strong in supporting them. So I just encourage y'all to come out to all of these things. Thank y'all.
With that, big week thing, well, I'll let you make some announcements later if you have that. Yeah, so then Quinn.
Hey guys, so I know we're talking a little bit about committees, and I just wanted to run by y'all. So serving as the VP of initiatives, if y'all can hear me, my team will be working directly with student affairs and academic affairs. So if y'all know people that you would see serving well on those committees, please encourage them to apply. Also, I didn't really go into detail on this last time, but initiatives has 3 branches: academic affairs, which covers academic initiatives and projects; Campus Life, which covers university housing, campus dining, and health and wellness. And then the last one is University Operations, which covers parking and transportation, information technology, safety, and facilities. So if y'all know people that would be interested or be great representatives for those areas, please encourage them to apply for cabinet. And then another thing is tonight we had a town hall on athletics and student tickets. So that was right before Senate's night in this room at 6. And it was a really great discussion. We had 2 representatives from athletics here. We had 2 representatives that were student athletes to represent the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. So they were actually able to sit here, and I know we kind of look at them as celebrities a lot of times, but it was cool to have them here and just have a conversation with them about what their daily life looks like as student athletes. And then we had Brad and Patrick Starr sitting on the panel as well to represent SGA. So that was something really cool, and I just wanted to run by all of you the topics that came up at the town hall, so y'all still aware of the students are questioning about athletics. So someone asked about the possibility in the future of mobile ticketing. I know that's something that is on the horizon in the future, everything becoming mobile. So that was asked about mobile ticketing for students, as well as ticketing for all ticketing, not just students. Someone, a grad student, asked about pedestrian connection between facilities, so kind of promoting more of a green space atmosphere between facilities. So whether that's between Clinton Park and Premier Stadium, that was just a topic that was brought up a couple times. And then another question was about how we had Money Calling here who works with student athletes and their futures and developing those futures outside of sports. So someone asked about how that relationship looks and some of the ways that she can really help athletes move forward outside of just athletics for their future careers. So those are just a few questions that were brought up. If you want to know all the information from the town hall, please reach out to me. I'd love to work with y'all to see these things through that they brought tonight. I think that a lot of the comments that were made were positive in the right direction for athletics. Evan Beck is one of the representatives from athletics, and he's new here. He hasn't even been here a year. So having him sit in this room with students is really beneficial. So I just wanted to put that out there and kind of go to y'all if y'all weren't able to make it. So thanks for your time.
Alright, hey guys, just a short announcement. I know Mary Margaret and Olivia kind of already touched on this, but cabinet applications. So we are starting a big social media push because AEP applications are due on Friday. So one thing, I'm going to work with Carlos to send you guys some graphics to start sharing sharing. And make sure if we post anything on Facebook, share it, and then he's also going to send you guys some stuff for your Instagram story. So make sure you're pushing that out. And just one thing about general cabinet applications, specifically about communications and marketing, we typically have one of the lowest, if not the lowest, in general application rates. So one kind of misconception about communications and marketing is that you have to have these vast skill sets. So only 3 positions, director of photography, videography, and web developer require, not even require past experience, but it's one of those things that a lot of people kind of look at. So any of the AVP roles, director of social media, marketing, and content creator, you do not have to know anything about graphic design, photography, or anything to apply for those roles. So really kind of work with your constituents, anyone you think is appropriate for that role, and really encourage them to apply. Thank you.
Last time I actually started with.
Okay, hey guys, I hope y'all are having a good night. I was here last week, but my name is Ashley Satterfield. I am hopefully going to be the new EVP of Outreach if you guys confirm tonight. But Pearson, you're going to pull up this. So how many of you have heard of alternate answers? Most people? Okay, great. How many of you have submitted alternate answers before? Okay, fewer people. Awesome. So alternate answers is the top feedback and the main feedback communicator with the student body and external people for SGA. And so Pearson and I are going to kind of quickly run through how an alternate answers is submitted, because this will be a great tool for you to use when your constituents have questions, encouraging them to submit an alternate answers if you don't have the answer for them directly right there. So you go to alternateanswers.org, alternateanswers.org, so what's your name, email, this is Pearson's email if anyone wants to hit him up with some SGA questions. So then you choose the department that you are complaining, have a question about, or a suggestion for. So parking is good. What's going on? My car got towed. Because they are doing it now, so beware. And so then you review it, and then you can submit it. So as you guys are newly elected in your offices, how many of y'all have been thinking of ways, okay, how can I connect to my constituents? How can I get feedback? Anyone? Good. Okay, so how many of you guys would be interested in a way to directly get feedback from your constituents, work with cabinet, and promote alternate answers? Show of hands. Awesome. Okay, great. So the Wednesday after spring break, we are going to have the first alternate answers live event. So what this is going to look like is each of you and your school delegations are going to be able to stand outside the main buildings that your college represents. So like I'm in the College of Liberal Arts, so the main buildings for those are Titchener, Haley, and Bell. And so you as your college delegation are going to decide where you want to stand for the day. We're going to send out a concourse hours sign-up sheet, and you'll decide who wants to be where, when, and be able to sign up to get student feedback that day through Auburn Answers. So just a charge for all of you, by Friday, please email Carlos and I where your college wants to be, and if you have access to an iPad, someone's personal iPad. If you don't, it's fine, we can check it out through the Office of Student Involvement. But this is going to be a really great opportunity, guys, for you guys to meet with your constituents and get feedback. And we're very excited about this collaboration. Director applications will still be open, so that'll be a great way for you to promote that to people within your college. But again, this is going to be the Wednesday after spring break, March 20th. Anyone have any questions?
What's like the time frame? Like all day? Like rotating out?
Yeah, all day rotating out. Next week, the week after spring break, that Monday, I'm going to have a solidified sign-up sheet with hours and everything that Carlos will distribute to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions? Raymond?
Are we responsible for like setting up, getting a table, that kind of stuff?
Yes. So each college will be responsible for doing that. So you can, you're welcome to include your school's council and Senate liaisons
part of as well, you are more than welcome.
Y'all probably got something planned, but can we get a graphic out for this as well?
Yes, we have an Auburn Answers Live graphic that we get for you guys. Anything else? We're gonna have more details that Monday after spring break too. So I promise I won't send you guys out there. Little information. Okay, great. Thanks, guys.
So next reading brings us some reports from colleges. I know everybody may not have much, but I know some of y'all really been working on something because you come up to this. So I'm gonna go down the list and I'm gonna say starting with at large, and then at large student will stand up and say every report that you had. If you don't have a report this moment, I understand, but we want these to be kind of a thing that you have for the most part every week, and that they're productive and that you see what you're working on and get your information. So if you don't have one today, just say no report. That's fine, but going on. Which can be very beneficial. So we'll start off with at large.
Not at large. Not much. Match there tomorrow, so y'all watch for that and let's hope it does.
And as he stood up, y'all heard him say none at large, so last name and then whatever you wrote. So thank you, Senator. None. Agriculture.
If you have no reports, you have to stand up.
Just say that.
Okay.
Agriculture. Business.
No report.
Fancy.
No report.
Co-Senator.
Osmond COSAM, we recently elected new COSAM leaders. I guess not elected, they were chosen through an interview process, but we're just looking forward to working with them, as well as our schools council people. We're having a meeting with them Wednesday to set goals for this year, so I'll report back next week with the goals that we set.
Engineer.
No report.
Portion.
No report.
Grad school. Human sciences.
No report.
Liberal arts.
No report.
Pharmacy.
CMPC Pharmacy, I just want to let y'all know we got 6 new recycling bins in the locker building. And also the week of March 18th to March 20, the week after spring break is Mental Health Week. And so one of the pharmacy buildings, student organizations will be on the concourse doing depression screenings and mental health checks. So.
Next, we usually go into, as you see on the standing committee, since that's what we'll be touching on tonight. Ignore that, but as I just did, I'm going to go academic affairs next, and then whoever the committee chair for that is will stand up and then say the same report that you have. So I'm going to have that. That's how I usually go. So next, we're going to go from special liaisons. No report.
No report.
No report.
I'm sorry. So, like I said, y'all just update us on anything you have going on or any projects you want to help on. So next. Next we're using our second installation and final special orientation. So like last week, if you have any questions, please don't. So that's how we'll do it every. Yeah, so we'll start off now with the orientation, but we also have to elect our pro tem as we have stated. So we're gonna do a drawing of you two. Pick a number between 1 and 10, it'll be up here. Oh, geez, 1 and 2. Y'all, yeah, the term who speaks first. So will y'all come up?
Between 1 and 1.
1 and 2. I have a sheet. Can y'all two come up? First for the speech, I have 2 3 minutes.
water tower, that's home for me. And some might say I'm deeply rooted in this university. Both my parents were Auburn graduates. My dad had 6 siblings, and all of them but 2 came to Auburn. So I'm an Auburn girl through and through. So I'm very deeply rooted in Auburn University, but especially Student Government Association. As a freshman, I got the opportunity to serve on Senate staff. Senate staff and Senate technician. And then last spring was elected into my seat as the Senator for the College of Human Sciences, and also was appointed as the Inclusion Diversity Committee chairperson. So I got some Senate executive experience as well. Had the opportunity to work with a couple of industry too. So I know how much weight this Senate body holds. I know what we're able to do on this campus that a lot of other student groups can't. We have the ability to create things like athletic student ticketing appeal committees. And we have the ability to support things like the MHC Legacy Plaza, both projects that I was able to kind of help see and work through. So we have the opportunity to do some big things that a lot of student groups on our campus can't. And I want to be able to help you all do that better. How do I want to do that? So I know you all have a goal to be the voice of your colleges and your peers. And I want to help you all do that better. Some of the ways that we can do that, how are students going to be able to contact you and figure out what's going on if they can't find you? I don't know about y'all, in my college, we don't exactly have a space for our students to have office hours. So a lot of times I have to do those in the lobby of Spital Hall, which isn't, it's not cute. So I want to work with every single one of your deans and administrators to help you find space for your office hours in your colleges so that students can access you more easily. Another thing that I want to do is I want to work with marketing and cabinet to create marketing materials for your office hours as well as business cards so you can better connect with your constituents and administrators after meeting with them. And finally, I want to advocate for something that actually Senator said has wanted us for a long time. And that is to have access to different folders of different committees so that you can get the full scope of what's going on in the Senate. So all these things are super tangible. I know because I've been there, done that as an exec. And so I hope that you all have seen my passion for this university, my work ethic, and my Senate experience, and that you see that I'm more than qualified to do the job of President Pro Tem. And I hope that you all entrust me with this position. So regardless of what happens, I look forward to getting to meet all of you and working with all of you throughout this term.
So our second nominee is Senator Nunn, so now I'm going to give a speech. We have about 2 to 3 minutes to say what you want.
All right, okay. So, oh dear. Let's get that. So I'm not great at remembering everything, so I did write a little bit of stuff out. But good evening, everyone. For those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Sam Nunn. I'm beyond thrilled to have the opportunity to run for Pro Tem tonight. To let y'all get to know me a little bit better, I'm a sophomore in the College of Business, and I've also had the pleasure of serving on Student Senate last year as an at-large member. I stand before you confident tonight that Senate will be in good hands with either myself or Ada Ruth serving as the Pro Tem. Both of us possess the skills and the organization needed to ensure that Senate business will run smoothly from week to week. But, however, this would be like a pretty terrible speech if I didn't try to convince you why you should trust me for your vote this evening. My motivation for running for Pro Tem can be summed up with just one word: relationships. I want to improve relationships within Senate and also outside of Senate. And through this, I think that we can lay the foundation for another record-breaking year within Senate. I firmly believe that our Senate will be a more effective group if we form strong relationships with each other early on in this term. As Pro Tem, I want to act as the facilitator between all of you to form strong, close relationships during our time here at Senate. How I want to do this is I want to plan monthly Senate dinners as a time for us to get together and get to know each other and just relax and have a good time, eat a little bit of food, and really get to know each other in a more casual setting than the Senate floor. I hope that through this, we can better understand our common interests and also our differences, which will translate into better collaboration on the Senate floor, and hopefully will form friendships that are going to last a lifetime beyond Senate. I'm also aiming to improve our relations outside of Senate with other branches of SGA and also with organizations on campus. Our executive officers and I both share the goal that Senate needs to collaborate more with their counterparts in the cabinet. I want to put an SGA directory in all of your hands with names, phone numbers, positions, and emails of everyone in SGA so that you know exactly who your point of contact should be if you're working on a specific project. I hope that this will help us all facilitate more effective communication between people through Senate and Cabinet, and it'll be able to connect committee chairs and the Senate members a lot better through all of that. I lost what I was going with that. I'm so sorry about that. So, at the end of the day, I understand the time and the hard work that y'all are going to contribute to Senate this year. Last year, I was involved in multiple organizations during my time on campus, but this year, Senate is my only on-campus commitment. I promise that I will give this position the attention that it deserves and work hard to ensure that the process of getting bills to the floor will be as efficient and thorough as it needs to be. This year, I want to be your biggest motivator, your toughest critic, but most of all, I want to be somebody that you can call on day and night for anything that you need for Senate. I'm thankful that y'all have given me this opportunity to share my ideas with you this evening, and I hope that y'all are going to trust me with your vote for Pro Temp tonight. Thank you all.
We're just step outside for a second as well, so both of y'all are outside.
All right.
So we'll. Okay, I'm going to open the floor briefly. If anybody has any positive words of support for either of the candidates, you may have this time.
City business. Just to speak, I know both of these individuals very well, and I must say, especially what Sam said, no matter who this student body senate decides to elect, we will be in great hands either way. But I do want to speak on Sam's behalf. Sam is from Montgomery with me, but I did not know him very well at all until I got to Auburn and got to spend this past freshman year with him, and I got to live with him practically this summer as well. And just to tell you what he's going to bring every day, and that's going to be his work ethic, his excitement, and a great attitude to everything he does. Not only is he going to represent and organize the Student Senate well, but like he said, he's going to be that guy that makes it one of our favorite Auburn experiences when we finish with this. And I think that's such an important part to keep in mind as well. Certainly, we need to be pushing the business on the floor, but at the same time, we need to be sure we're committing to those relationships so that we can work as well as possible with each other, have friendships, be able to know the people that we're working with, and I think that's what's going to lead to our biggest successes in the Student Senate. I do want to speak as well on behalf of the Senate dinner idea. His personality and drive would lead to other opportunities like that that would allow for those relationships to build. So kind of to sum everything up, I think a vote for Sam is a vote that strengthens the Auburn family within this student body, strengthens the Auburn family amongst us, and most importantly, if he was President Pro Tempore, he's going to keep us on task each and every day, push us to be the very best we can be, being that critical speaker, but at the same time being someone we can count on, rely on, and someone that's going to push the student body's interests and needs extremely well. So I ask that you keep those words in mind as well as the words Sam gave tonight, and just know that his work ethic is one that I think is worth examining and giving. I think he would make an excellent President Pro Tempore. So thank you.
Sam, I kind of want to echo what James said. I think both of these people would be a great pro temp for Senate, and we will definitely be in good hands regardless. But I would like to speak on behalf of Ada Ruth. Like Ada said, I was her roommate freshman year, and she lived, breathed, and ate Senate. Like, it was her life. She was a technician, and she was super busy. I'm sure we all can relate to being super involved our freshman year, and Senate was always at the top of her priority list, and that definitely didn't change after freshman year. If anything, she just, her love for Senate grew even more. Ada served as the Inclusion and Diversity Committee Chair last year, and I had the absolute honor and privilege of getting to serve on that committee with her, and just to see her lead so fearlessly and humbly has been such an honor. It's been so fun to get to work with her. Ada encourages any ideas you have, and I know that she'll do that for the entire Senate body. Whatever your goals may be, she'll find a way to work with you and to make those goals become reality. She's a hard worker, and she's organized, and that's what's important for being pro temp, because she'll be relaying messages back and forth between Carlos and all of us, and she'll ensure that our office hours are effective and efficient and not just something that we fill out to say that we did. I really love her idea of talking with our deans and finding a way for us to have a set spot each week to meet with our constituents, because I know last year in COSAM we struggled to find ways to relate to our constituents because they never knew where we were, and we had to move around each week because there are different meetings and different occasions and things that are coming up. And so I really love that idea, because we will all be able to reach out to the people that we represent and actually speak on their behalf rather than our own feelings. So in all, I just really hope that you all will support Ada Ruth, because I know she is definitely more than qualified and has all the experience needed to be a very successful pro temp, and she will push each of us to become the senators that we have the potential to be. So,
behalf. I met Sam a couple weeks before I even started running with him, and so I haven't really known him for that long. And he's just been like I've known him for like 10 years. He's been one of my best friends for the past couple weeks, and I think that speaks volumes of what he wants to do. Look, both of them are going to do great jobs. If you vote Ada or vote Sam, both of them are going to do fantastic jobs. But the way Sam goes about relationships, I really, really, really feel like that can bring this group so much more together and just make us run so much more smoothly.
BD engineering. Yeah, I'm going to say a real quick word. I think both these candidates would be awesome, but I'm going to speak on Sam's behalf real quick. From the second you meet Sam, he is incredibly charismatic and easy to talk to and approachable. And I think that he really has the qualities of his charisma that can really help us all forge better relationships and be able to pass those good.
Civil engineering. I'm going to speak really quickly too. I'm excited to get to know Sam, and I think either candidate would be incredible, but I had the honor and privilege of being a freshman senator this past year, and Ada Ruth was my specific mentor, so I met with her regularly and got to serve under her committee as inclusion and diversity, and when I first met her, I thought she was a senior, because she has her stuff together so much. She devotes so much time and organization and effort to Senate. She pours out her heart for this, and she loves every single person she works for and what she does. So I think both will be incredible, and I'll support whoever gets elected. She'll be awesome.
I'll say engineering. Just want to say, first of all, regardless of who wins tonight, I believe they will do a great job. And one thing that we should all do is make sure that, regardless of who gets elected, we need to keep them accountable for what they have said here tonight. Make sure they follow through with that. But as far as Ada Ruth is concerned, I've known her ever since she was a freshman as a technician. I was a senator, and just seeing her every day come in with that joyous attitude each and every day, even though the city meetings, they can be long and boring as far as just sitting as a technician, she just kept up that good work ethic, and I was able to see from afar as I co-opt her work and dedication as the chair for her committee, to see her work as far as getting the NPSG Plaza, that resolution to come to fruition, and a whole host of other things. And I feel as though she will do just an excellent job as the President Pro Tem, and that you all should vote for her.
Price rewards. I just want to tell you all a quick story about Sam. Me and Sam had the privilege of going to high school together. And when I was a freshman, he was a sophomore, so I always kind of looked up to Sam. He was 16 before I was, so many rides were given by Sam. But just a quick story. So when I turned 16, I didn't really get a car, and then I got like a car for free from my aunt. But it was like a 1994, really old, terrible BMW. Didn't have a radio. And so I told Sam, I was like, dude, I got a 1994 BMW, he's like, dude, come over right now. And so I came over to his house, and he was like, well, you don't have a radio. And I was like, yeah, you know, I don't really care, I don't listen to music that much. He goes inside, fishes in his closet, finds this radio, and this man spends 3 hours installing a radio in my car that I didn't really even ask for. I say this story just to let you know, like, he wants to help his friends as much as he can. It's the best of his ability. He really does care about each and every one of you, and I just want to reiterate his character and who he is. Thank you.
Also, real quick, when we refer to other senators, make sure you say that they're a senator and not a representative of the leaders. Speaking on that, and not just keep it up in terms of what we're working on here. Thank you,
Brian, College of Business. I just wanted to talk about Ada Ruth for a second. So there is a really fine line between, I think, passion for your work and compassion for people. And I've gotten to serve with her the past couple of weeks outside of Senate through King 40 and just really seeing her like be able to walk that fine line of working really hard and her passion for this university. She like has her hand in so many different places on campus, and with that comes so much knowledge and wisdom that I've been blessed to know. And I think that that would be a really great asset to have in leadership here in Senate. And I just think that she'll do an incredible job. She has a perspective that's so incredibly unique, and I think that we can all benefit from in becoming better Auburn men and women, and then also empowering the future of Senate. Thank you.
Jackson, Steve Evans. So, I don't know either senator at all. Don't have much skin in this fight, so if you're unbiased opinion. Senator Ruth, every single time I see her or a bill comes up, she knows the entire bill. She asks a ton of questions. That's what I got for her. She's always just seems like a great person. She has nice ways.
Thompson, housing. I kind of want to reiterate what Jackson says. Last term, or at least the part that I was able to serve during, Senator Hunley definitely took way more time and put in way more effort to understand everything that was happening within the Senate and to like approach people outside of the floor and really understand, get to know like what their like approach is and why they're like writing these bills. I think she's gonna give a lot more effort to the job, and I do believe Sam's platform is great. I love the whole relationship idea. I think that he would be a great leader as well, but I really do think that Senator Hunley will put a lot more effort into the job.
Anyone else? All right, thank you all for everyone's input. Really helpful, I'm sure. What we'll do next is now we're going to cast votes, so we can come around and hand these out. Tally them very quickly. Yeah, don't put your name on it. Y'all two yeah, y'all go ahead.
Oh, okay, cool.
Once y'all have voted, just fold it.
Thank y'all for that. Thanks for your input. Thank you too for standing up and being courageous and making sure you get your points across. Those will be tallied while we're doing this orientation, and you know my name will be for sure. So next, we're going to get into the rest of our orientation. Our second part, like I said, and then we'll also do the committees. I'll hand out those later on when we get into it. But right now, we'll start with our second part of the orientation. And finally, like I said, if you have any questions during this, please let me know. This will also be sent out, but please pay attention and let me know if there are any issues. So we'll start off with all about legislation. So this is kind of what we'll start off with saying, how to compose and draft a bill. Pearson likes to call it the life of a William, which is pretty clever. So this started off with the Senate writes a bill or the resolution or commendation. And I'm going to get into exactly what these all look like and what some examples are from this past year. But starting off with a bill, so a bill of law modifies, some of this you'll remember, but modifies the code of laws, appropriates funds, approves appointments, and govern other enumerated powers of student government association. And as you see, it says PSSB right after that. As you can see, resolution is PSSR, and commendation is PSSC. This is proposed student senate commendation or proposed student senate resolution, or so on and so forth. So that is what that means. I'll get into what it looks like exactly. But starting with bills, this is kind of what it would look like. So you bill to, and then your name to the student senate from your name, what you're representing in the matter which the bill concerns. So I'm gonna go through some examples as it says on this past one, say for appropriating funds. So this bill will be working with allocating funds. So this past fall feast that we had for students that were not able to go home for Thanksgiving, we provided Thanksgiving style meal for them, and that wasn't particularly in the budget at first. So it came through Senate that we expanded their the funds for the outreach branch, $3,885 to fund this fall feast, because we have a reserve that we can work on. So this was put through Senate, and it was passed, therefore we can use this money to go towards that fall feast. Next is approve appointments. This past year, it could even be, as you see how they keep coming up for their executive reports, they'll say, approved or whatever the case may be. So these officers that have been chosen on it still have to be appointed, unless they were elected. So they still have to be, I guess, approved by you, and then that is when they are officially the ED and executive vice president. So that's how that works. Also with Senate appointments, this past year in the code of laws, it would say vet, med, in terms of, let's say how many senators they have, we changed that to veterinary, and made it the full word. So even stuff with grammar wise, working with that, getting that approved, that's exactly how it would be modifying the code of laws a little bit. Also from office hours, working with code of laws. So it said previously, office hours should be completed from 8 to 5, I'm paraphrasing, but should be completed from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. It's been added, or any other time approved by the city executive. So these are examples of bills that you can work on, modifying code of laws, making sure everybody's on the same page with that type of stuff. Next, we will go talk about resolutions. So it reads, serves as the unified student voice and majority opinion of the student senate as representatives of the student body. Upon passage, this resolution shall be presented to all relevant parties. So I can have an example as well of a resolution I see back in these looked at as kind of vague a little bit. So this past year, I'll go to the format for that. That's how resolutions would look. So the same, basically the same thing with the name. We're just going to date and the PSSC, which you see would be year, so it would be 1/9, month would be 03, day would be, what's that, 04, and then I'll show you. What's the number? Yeah, so like the day, yeah, it would be, if that's the third resolution of the day, that would be 03. So with an example of that, this past year, we would say the recognition of Campus Fire Safety Month at Auburn University, because since January 2000, at least 172 people have been affected by fires on college-related basis. So this would read, for example, whereas, therefore, so it's whereas what I just said. So then therefore, we, the Auburn University Student Senate, promise to be safety aware and support education for the safety of our off-campus and on-campus residents, neighbors, parents, students, whatever the case may be. And then we would promote then the Campus Fire Safety Month that was passed. And you would CC anyone you would feel would benefit from receiving this resolution. Next, accommodation. Any questions on any of these so far? Clarification. Okay. Next, accommodations. Finally, type of bill. So we didn't really have too much of this past year, and I give some examples of what we could also work with this next coming term for you. Want to come in with questions afterwards or whatever the case may be. But this past year we had a recognition of Bill Ham Jr., who was a mayor of Auburn and a graduate of Auburn as well. So it would read the same information, the name, all of that. Reference to the matter concerning accommodation. So mayor, Bill Ham, whatever the case may be. Same information on the dates, and that should have been changed, but for the it would still be a whereas, therefore. So it would look like this. There it is. So the whereas would say, Mayor Birmingham Jr. served local government for 32 years. Another whereas was raised in Lee County in the city of Auburn. And another whereas, whatever he feels necessary to get your point across about what he has done. And then it would say whereas of initiative that he's done to help our campus, or whatever the case may be. Therefore, the Auburn University SGA Student Senate does hereby commend Bill Ham Jr. for whatever you would say is done, and then you would CC anyone that you feel like would benefit from this commendation. Some examples that we could get working on right now maybe is, I know there was an issue this past couple weeks ago with, the police officer that was shot. We could commend the Auburn Police Department, or we had the issue with tornado relief programs, anybody that's been affected by that. These are just some examples, but if you want to work with me, that's just, kick-started on more accommodations. I know that's something that we're trying to improve as well, and have more of a presence. So any questions on that? Well, if y'all have any more questions with the how to write it, who's got all my office, or if it's okay, and then I'll go about how to actually submit these and stuff. All right, so next we'll talk more about the legislation. So started off, that's you start drafting the bill. Next, the senator will submit this legislation to the appropriate oversight committee chair. So if it's working on code of laws, you would submit it to your inclusion diversity committee chair. You would submit it to whoever's the chair of the code of laws. If it's working on inclusion and diversity, it follows suit. So you submit that to whoever is working. You can submit this to the executive committee of Senate. Next, the committee of your own. So say I submit it, I'm in the code of laws, I submit it to my chair. Then the committee will vote on this legislation, make sure it's all ready to go, grammar-wise, constitutionally, and content-wise. That will then be voted on, say it is voted on and passed. The committee chair will then pass that legislation to the President Pro Tem, who we will have by tonight, and that will then be brought to the Senate Exec Committee. So within that, I've said it last week a couple times, but it's not, the Exec Committee doesn't vote on the content of the bill that much, or resolution accommodation, but mainly on if it's constitutional and if it's ready to be brought to the floor. If it's brought back, that doesn't mean you can't bring it. If it's rejected, that doesn't mean you can't bring it back. You have to revise it and make sure it's okay, and then just send it back to the President Pro Tem. Any questions on that or comments? Okay. So then once it's there, the Senate exec will vote on it, and then it's passed. Your senator will introduce that bill, resolution, accommodation, whatever the case may be, to the Senate Monday evening in the Senate. So then it will be voted on by legislation, or the legislation will be voted on by us here, or by you, by Roy. I'd like to make a note that resolutions, bills, and accommodations require a majority vote of the Senate. Code of laws changes require a 2/3 vote, as do changes to the Constitution of the student body. So, well, 2/3 of the student body for the Constitution changes. So it has to be at least 66 points, whatever the case is, of the student body for Constitution and code of laws 2/3. Exec Secretary of the Student Senate, parliamentarian, and technician will prepare this legislation in a packet for final approval, and then I'll get into the bill writing process now. So that's basically where it goes after it's passed here. So say we pass a bill that works on code of laws, it'll then go by me, and then I will sign off on it. Then that will then be to the president, which is Mayor Morrison. Then a SGA advisor, such as Pearson. And then it would go to Corey Edwards, the assistant director of student involvement, whoever the case may be, and then the senior vice president for student affairs, and then finally the president of the university. So I'll say this so we make sure that it's not just going to be me looking over this, it'll be the president of the campus. So make sure that we're being really professional and doing our research in terms of what we're doing. This is not just going to be some guys, some big people that will be looking over this type of stuff. So make sure we are keeping the students' interest in mind when we draft these bills and legislation, and do all those smoothly. Any questions on the routing process? So like I said, it's be sent out and you'll know exactly where that goes. So next, we'll talk about the procedure that's held here. So I've printed out some basic cheat sheets, I'd say, for the parliamentary procedure, Robert's Rules of Order, which we abide by. Because you might know that's it up. So I'll like just start on this side and then I'll start on this side. Yeah. Which is me. I'll get something. this is just gonna help you get by through the next couple of weeks. I mean, I know myself, I might have heard of this also, but you wanna do any of these commands, it'll tell you how, what to say yes or no, or whatever the case may be. So if you have any free time, please review this and make sure that we're staying on top and staying within our boundaries of what is expected of Senate meetings. As I said, this was a pretty formal meeting, but please let me know for these first couple of weeks it might be a struggle. I'm gonna try my best to stay within the boundaries, so let me know if you need help with that as well. Okay, so this is kind of what Brad spoke on a little bit last week at the end during announcements, but this is the chain of command. So it says, no, please use this list when communicating and do not turn to outside resources unless you have gone through the chain of command. So as we see, I'm kind of in the middle, not saying I'm bottom of the chain or anything, but this is just how this is just how it goes. So you'll start, and you have to make sure that this is you've gone through these people and not just really try to jump the gun. So if you have an issue we talked about, just please do not email Dr. Lee immediately. Because that will get everybody in between y'all in trouble. So let's make sure that we're making sure we connect with the right people and we are staying on top of who we're supposed to be approaching with any issues that we may have. I know it's hard. I can also probably check myself sometimes, but I know we're eager, so let's just stay within these so Pearson and myself don't get in trouble. Any questions on the chain of command? I promise y'all I'm one of my heart. Okay, we also spoke on the email policy a little bit, but this is, I'll go over again, like we said, make sure you're proofreading your emails. It's all making sure we're looking as professional as possible so we can get our points across. So make sure you proofread your emails, try to respond within 24 hours, and copying us as well, so an advisor and the vice president, myself, and the committee chair as well, so you know, we're just keeping everybody in the loop. I know I spoke on it last week, but even with working on the same projects as someone cabinet can, it's just making sure that we're not micromanaging, but making sure that we're looking over exactly what you're working on. So if I know someone in cabinet is working on something at the same time, I get an email from them, I'm gonna loop you in to make sure that we don't go step out of our boundaries and that we're working together. Because like I said, this year is very important that we connect with our cabinet and our Senate so we know that we will be progressing together. All SGA related emails should be sent with a signature that includes your name, your position, contact information, and the SGA social media that was sent out in last week's presentation. If anybody didn't get that, by the way, please let me know. It might be an issue with the listserv. I'm just not learning how to use it. And it was a struggle for a minute. So if you have any issues with getting emails, just let me know after this, and I'll make sure you're ready. So I'm mastered it by now, so we're good. Any questions on emailing?
I was just gonna make a point that like when you copy someone on email and someone replies, they might not hit reply at all. So if you get an important email in response, make sure you forward it to said people that were supposed to be originally copied. And if you continue that chain, make sure it's continually happening because it creates an issue when you like think someone knows something and they don't. So just like
right. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, make sure we're being careful with also when we're blind copying and just CCing somebody, you know, who we're reaching out to and who needs to be involved in the conversation. We don't want to embarrass ourselves by, you know, CCing everybody for no reason. Also with that, committees, if you want to work on another piece of, and you say you're not in this committee, you want to work with somebody else, make sure you include those committee chairs that are not exactly where you're assigned to, so they know that you're not just working on something that they have no clue what's going on. So, is there any more questions on emailing? Try to get those signatures out by next time you send an email. So within the next couple of days, please. We should be okay with that. Resources, so you'll see it later on, but I'll get to that. So Box, I'm not sure if you all familiar with Box, but it's basically kind of a storage that we have for the past, it's helping me out a ton in transitioning. It's a website that everybody will get access to. You'll get extra Senate resources, as it says. And so make sure you check that before you ask for any information, because all files will be there. If you don't see it in Box, then make sure you just go check that. You should have access to Box by the time we meet for our next Senate meeting. So just be on the lookout for that and just accept it. I believe Chris will send that out soon. So that also with blocks, committee chairs will get access to all the other committees and everything in the Senate. But if you're just in these committees and not the chair, you'll get access to your committee stuff. So if I'm in academic affairs, I'll just have access to academic affairs. And I think that's what I would follow for. So that's how that'll be for that, but the committee chairs will have access to all Senate. Any questions on that part? Yeah, be mindful of the chain of command thing, by the way. It's good to have those people that were on that list because they are willing to help. We just got to make sure we're approaching them at the right times. And next is code of laws and Constitution. I know some of you have reached out to me about some questions that you may have had, and I might insert a really long paragraph from the code of laws of why you get this, why you get this, whatever the resource is, or what your absences are like, or whatever the case may be, or who handles absences. So I may refer you to code of laws a lot. You'll see once I hand out these committee forms that you're preferencing that I will have a note from the code of laws as well. It's just making sure that we do our research before we go and try to search something out. Make sure the code of laws actually helps the time. And I know we're going to be revising it a little bit this year, but make sure you stay on top of what we've got going on with that. That is the Constitution. So, any questions on how to? Does anybody know how to read or to access it? Anybody know how to? What is that? I was about to say, does anybody know how to reach the code of laws?
It sounded like you said, does anybody know how to read?
Oh, yeah. I'll pause and change it to pause. Anybody know how to find the code of laws or anything? I'll send out a link to that. And so you'll get it. Get that taken care of. Yeah, I know it's hard. Next. So, not this, I didn't want to do it this week because I felt like it'd just be rushing it, but we'll be taking, not we, you will be taking a test on basically all this information from last week's orientation and this week's orientation. So we're going to refer back to this if you have any issues with the test, but this is basically going to be a study guide, these next couple slides. So we're going to go over these committees as well again and just make sure you're in the loop of what's going on real quick. We kind of ran through most of this last week. So again, we'll be tested on what the committees are. There are these six. The sixth one is the executive committee, which is composed of the pro tem and all of the committee chairs, and then myself and then advisor. So that's that. We'll talk more on what the, each committee does later on when I hand out these sheets and let you prep them, but everybody should be familiar with what each one kind of consists of at this point. We have executive committee, academic affairs, budget, finance, code of laws, inclusion and diversity, and the student affairs. So those are the six committees, but the sixth one is composed of members from the other committees. Next, we'll have who the executive officers are. I don't know why it's missing an F9, but these are the list of names. Make sure every point that these will be taken care of. You'll know exactly who is with that position. Those are those names listed. Like I said, you'll get this taken out. I'll email it out to you after this. There are 34 senators, 5 being from at-large, and then 29 from the other schools and colleges. And then they'll talk about absences. So this is just kind of making sure you know what you're expecting. Also, once you take this test, and you will have to pass it in order to continue being a part of Senate. It's mostly a lot of stuff that we've learned over time, so it should be okay. But just making sure you know the basics of what Senate consists of, that we're the legislative branch, who I am, who the president pro tem is, who will be elected tonight. Making sure you're copying the right people in all these emails, your office hours, and then what we abide by as SGA members. Next is the next part, is just the parliamentary authority. For Senate meetings, it's Robert's Rules of Order. A lot of organizations, religious or student organizations across the country use this, so that's why I hand that out so y'all can be comfortable with that. Quorum, which is the minimum number of members to be present under which business can still be conducted, is 2/3. So if we don't reach quorum, then we don't have a efficient meeting, so we have to consider that. This is the one I want to touch on. So it says the bill goes into effect immediately. Examples include funding requests and code of law changes. So the part that says the bill goes into effect immediately is kind of, I guess, that's debated at the moment, and it would be great for the code of laws to work on whenever that is installed after this meeting. So some may argue that the bill goes into effect after it's passed in here, but some may also argue that it's not passed until Mary Parker, the president, signs off on it. So we may want to clarify that in code of laws after further research to make sure we know what actually happens once the bill leaves. So I would love for the code of laws to work with that and make sure we're being clear on what actually this consists of. Next is just exactly what I spoke on earlier with TSSB and what all that stands for, what it respectively stands for between resolutions and commendations. Just changing that last letter, the fourth letter on that end. If anybody has any questions with that, let me know. There's an example. So PSSB 17 will be 2017, 10 October the 23rd, October 23rd, and will be the third bill presented that night. So that's where the O3 comes from. If you have any questions with that, let me know, but just refer back to this once we're done at the meeting if you have any work you want to do right now. And then finally is our mission statement that we had read this past or last week, that in the back of our minds every time we draft legislation. So we want to make sure we get all this information down in the back of our minds while we're carrying on with this year. I know it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, like I said, but hopefully this study guide will help out, and I will be here, Pierce will be here, and then don't be afraid to rely on your peers as well. I know there's some faces that are here already, so if you have questions for them that they can answer immediately, feel free to contact them as well. So are there any questions on that? I know that was kind of fast. I can go back to anything. You might want to take note or something, but I know y'all will get this out. If any more questions with that? Okay. So now we're going to move into our, we're going to move into our committee meeting, our committee preferences. Like I said, this is ranking. That does not exactly mean this is what you'll get, but we just want to know where you are with these committees. Y'all can actually answer since y'all are these working these committees. So I want to stress that it would be. Oh yeah, by the way, it also say committee chairs. Like I spoke on with working with two committees, you will have that just like your base because you still work on it. It's not like you're just anchored down to what's going on.
Y'all can take a minute to fill these out first.
Yeah, so number one would be your first choice, and then your first preference, and then 5 would be your last choice. Yeah.
Once you all filled it out, feel free to let us know. We'll come down. Make sure your name is on it, obviously.
No, not yes. You got it.
Thank you so much.
So those will be worked on over the next week, and then we'll let you know the information with that. We obviously don't have time to do it now. We'll let you know, and we'll reach out to you, let you know where you're at. We have now also tied the votes for Constituent, and I'd like to recognize Senator Avery Huntley as the next Constituent. Very well, and I hope we should have a good year, and we're going to have a really good time with that. I'll talk to you about more information with that position. Thank you all for voting. Is anyone, sorry.
I was going to ask, was there a time for announcements later on, or is it okay?
Yeah, there's time for announcements.
Go ahead, finish what you're saying. My bad.
Okay, yeah, we're open for announcements.
Okay, great. All right, city business, thank you again. But for those of you, of course, as you've heard, the weather, the destructive weather that has just torn apart a lot of parts of Lee County, left a lot of our community homeless, without food, water, the necessities. If anybody's interested in getting involved, especially in a hands-on way, please reach out to me. I know of a group, I believe it's the Samaritan group, but in the coming week and a half, especially when FEMA's able to get in and clear out a lot of things, they're going to need a lot of hands-on help. So if you're interested, especially next week, over spring break, I'm planning on spending a good majority here in Lee County helping out with those efforts. Please reach out to me. I'd love the student body's help, and if you know of anybody, please give them my contact so we can get just the Auburn community together to rally around a common cause that has hurt really deeply in our own home, and so just wanted to put that out there.
Anyone else? Going off of that, tomorrow, the College of Education is having a blood drive. The hospital is completely out of blood right now, so if you have an opportunity to go do that, please go tribute and help out to those that are in need. Also, at the 4 info desk at Burden, they're having a drop-off for toiletry, so please help out with these relief efforts as well if you can. It would benefit this community tremendously, and we want to make sure that we're looking out for others, not just ourselves. Are there any more announcements?
Is that, this question, is that blood drive on campus, or is it at
Yeah,
hospital?
it's, I'll get details to you on exactly where it is. I just know the college. Yeah, it is on this week I'll email, but I can still let you know where it is. More announcements.
So Gray Grad School. So I work in the Women's Initiative department here, which is within the Office of Inclusion and Diversity. And so April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and so we're going to be we're in the process of planning a lot of events about that. So I'm hoping to update you all a little bit later. We have a few already set. So one of them is going to be essentially a consensual sex workshop, which is going to be hosted by Lauren Clinton, who works in health promotion wellness services and student affairs. So that's going to, I'll give you kind of more information based on that. And also some of the other events that we're hosting is Take Back the Night. I don't know if you're all familiar with that, but essentially it's kind of a support for survivors and victims of sexual assault and like giving them a voice to tell their stories essentially. So it's a very empowering kind of moment, and also having like a candlelit for victims of sexual assault as well.
Are there any other announcements? Further business?
A couple just quick things for y'all, those are just to further expand upon. As far as committee reference sheets, remember those are just y'all's preferences, but whatever, we're going to do our best to put y'all where you think and where Carlos thinks y'all will be most successful. And remember that y'all were elected first to serve your school and college, and so that's your primary lens in the group in which you're advocating for. And then secondly is the committee in which you're working on. And so while you're working on school and college projects at that level, your committee allows you to work on more big level projects, whether it be with student affairs or academic affairs in that standpoint. So just regardless of what committee you're on, I encourage you just to continue to be excited and use that as a way to advocate for big picture things on this campus while not forgetting your constituents who elected you in your specific school and college. Another thing that I want to expand upon what Carlos said is we talked about how the legislation that y'all write and walk through the chain of command. Just keep in mind that the legislation y'all write will get sent to the Senior Vice President for Student Affairs and then ultimately the President of the University. So really put the time into it, gather student feedback. Love earlier tonight when y'all are expressing interest in working with outreach to really gather feedback from your college. So don't let that passion go away this year and continue gathering that feedback, because that's the type of information that we need to see in legislation that we're putting forth to administrators. Couple quick housekeeping things. Later this week, I'll be working on getting all of y'all swipe access to the Office of Student Involvement Suite, so just be on the lookout for an email from that. Also, we talked about Box. We'll go through more of an in-depth tutorial for Box, but that is our online digital storage system, and so that's where you'll be able to work and upload documents and really collaborate outside of Senate as well. And then lastly, later tonight, y'all are going to get an email from me about a SGA assessment that we're doing this year, really just to help us as advisors make sure that y'all are gaining the most out of your experience with Student Senate as possible. We kindly ask that y'all take the survey. It should take you about 20 minutes to complete. We would love for y'all to try to get that completed before spring break, and just to block off some time to answer truthfully and honestly, and knowing that in no way will it affect your standing in Student Senate, but we're just excited to use this as a way to help y'all out. So once again, thank y'all for a great night and for listening to everything in orientation, and just continue to be on the lookout for things from me and Carlos this week. Have a good, safe spring break, and I'll see you all in 2 weeks. Brad.
Are there any further announcements? Other business? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.
I've never had pictures with you. This is ridiculous.
And I just love you.
Hey, Andrew. I'm starting to feel better. I will be up all night long every single night this week. So
I will not be after you tomorrow.
See you later.
I'm so proud. I'm crying. I almost cried. But it's fine.
Okay, bye, love you, call me later.
Okay, got you. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Congratulations. I couldn't officially especially